Okay. Thanks everybody for joining the call. My name is Shun Foreman. I am the owner of Sugar Mode Off, and we have been working on really just trying to get ourselves together with sugar. We've been building this work in a community of like-minded folks, and we have come across one of our biggest challenges, which is what are we going to eat tonight? If the challenge is what are we going to eat tonight, then the next challenge is what are we going to cook? And then also who's going to cook? So as you can imagine, that right there within itself becomes a barrier for most people. And then the challenge of just like trying to eat foods that are safe for us. And we knew we couldn't do it on our own. So our biggest thing is we're in part two of a four-part session, and we've reached out to John and Kristi Scott, who are the owners of Fatsos, which is a food truck in Oregon. We spoke with them last week. We had a great conversation, and they gave us their story as to how it all happened, how it unfolded. So if you get a chance to, please go back and look at that video. And then tonight, we're just going to have a conversation. We're going to pretend like we're on grandmama's porch and we're just going to talk to each other and just find out what the heck's going on. How can we overcome a lot of these barriers? Sometimes it may be cost, sometimes it may be time, but we're just going to talk it out. So this is an open discussion and we're just here for the conversation and grateful, so grateful that John and Kristi came back to talk to us. Hey, hey, everybody. We got
Hey,
John and Kristi on the screen.
thanks for having us back
Yes,
again.
so thank you. I know y'all are busy. So I think we will start with a general question. And this is for y'all. This is just take your mic off and just talk as you please. But the biggest thing is we're just going to talk about what barriers that we're facing when it comes to just trying to prepare good meals consistently. Anybody can go for it.
Yeah, they can turn them on.
Yeah, all three of them are on.
Yeah, they have any question.
Oh,
Hopefully they can hear
So
us.
I'll start, Sean.
Okay, thanks.
Let's see. I'll turn my camera on. Oh, there's two of us there. I like her better than me today.
I thought that was
Uh,
Beyonce in the back.
I know, right? So my challenge is just that grocery shopping and being prepared. When I do that, I do okay. But as with most of us, well, I guess I need to speak for myself. If I'm not prepared every week, I end up seeing, okay, what's in there? What can I do with what I have? And that turns into something that's on the shelf that I may not necessarily need that was left over from stuff that I didn't throw out and get rid of. So I want a little bit more variety. I'm one of those folks who I can eat a piece of salmon and salad every day. But then I do want variety. Like today I work from home and so I actually made some chili in the crock pot. How tastes pretty good. I don't know. I think I checked off all of the boxes with, putting the right stuff in it. But that challenge is just trying to get some variety. So that's my struggle.
Yeah. And
That's right.
so I'm leaving it up to the experts. I'll chime in as necessary. The question you all for everybody that just joined the call, we're just talking about our barriers as far as like, how can we basically come up with these good meals and be consistent. Hi, Denitra and hi, Lawanda. So the question that we're talking about right now is just how can we come up or what kind of barriers we're facing. So Sherry just mentioned that basically it's kind of touch and go. If she's got the food, then she's good. If it's all in the refrigerator, she's good. But then typically when the food is not there, then she gets off track. So this is open mic. You talk whenever you want to, and we're just asking John and Kristi these questions.
I think the first thing, Sherry, thank you so much. I think the first thing, and I go into temptation mode a lot of the times too when I get hungry and my cook isn't here, then I start, looking all over the place to try and find something. I think the biggest thing was getting rid of everything that was going to be something that I shouldn't be eating and just get it out of the house, get it out of the pantry. At one time, we thought maybe we should keep stuff around just in case we had some company, but we've determined that if you're coming over to our house, you're eating the way that we are. So we just got it out of the house. And then when you have some kind of urge, then you already know that you're not going to have something bad in there because you've already taken it out. I think one of the other things, as you mentioned, you had a crock pot. There are so many things that you can prepare ahead of time in your crock pot and put it in your fridge. So if you have a day where it's going to be prep day, you can make your chili, you can make lasagna if you wanted to, you can make your meatballs if you wanted to. There's so many options to make in the crock pot, and then it would be ready and available for you. So if you get hungry, you could just go in there and munch on that stuff. Also, little snacks like cheese and maybe luncheon meats. Then
Salami, pepperoni,
yeah,
just you can
little snacks like
actually
that.
like thin slice roast beef or just beef in general, and kind of if you have a dehydrator, you can dehydrate those. So if you just want like a quick snack, you can dehydrate like thin slices of well, deli slices of like chicken, turkey, roast beef, or whatever, so you can have just some sort of quick snack besides the salad and the fish,
I love
which is
salmon and
delicious. I
fish.
love salmon
It's
too.
very delicious. But yeah, for variety, getting in your crock pot and making up those meals. And one day just do a whole bunch of them and then you'll have them ready for you waiting for in the fridge when you're ready to do them.
Like on the on the menu that I sent out, Alfredo's a really good sauce, easy, quick sauce to make. So you can make the Alfredo and put it in the refrigerator. And if you want to add protein to it, you already have the sauce. So if you want something a little different one day, let's say you want some shrimp or chicken, saute some shrimp and mushrooms and put that in the Alfredo sauce, or saute some diced chicken and put that in the Alfredo sauce. So you're eating something different, but you have it in the refrigerator, something ready to go. So you're not spending a lot of time or money to feed yourself.
Okay, so I'm not a big Alfredo sauce fan, but do you have a marinara?
Oh
I
yeah,
Yes.
didn't think about that.
yeah.
Or a bolognese.
Bolognese.
So you
Bolognese is my
with
favorite.
yeah, the ground beef with the marinara on there. But it's also good for the marinara is also good for like a quick pizza. If you have
Mhm.
like mushroomed caps or something, or even a deconstructed pizza, throw in your sausage or your salami or pepperoni or whatever, olives, whatever you like, throw it on there, your bolognese, and that'll be a quick little pizza
Yeah.
style for you.
And if you like portobello mushrooms, you can buy I do a lot of those on my meal plan. If you get a large enough portobello mushroom, just clean out the inside and pour some marinara in the bottom, and then put your pepperoni, your salami, your cheese, and
Mhm.
throw it in the oven and roast it, and you got yourself a really thick, meaty pizza.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh, definitely. Those portobello pizzas are so good
Yeah.
and filling, and yeah, it'll keep you full for a while.
Yeah, I just did a large portobello for my meal plan yesterday. It's large portobello, diced chicken, a couple of types of cheese, artichoke hearts, butter, bacon. Just throw it in the oven and roast it. So there's a lot of different quick options.
And if you do you can do multiples of those. So then once you bake them off and cook them, just put the rest in the fridge and it'll be a quick zap it up or put it back in the oven to warm it through. And that'll be a quick snack or a quick meal also.
So I have a quick question. I want to thank the guests for
John and
coming
Kristi.
too. John and Kristi, thank you guys.
Mhm.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Miss Creative.
My
Uh-oh.
question is, do you all travel outside of where you live to
Everybody's
serve?
asking
we
Denitra, didn't you just do your thing not that long ago?
I did. I did a
I've
thing.
seen you. I've
I
seen you,
did a
Miss
thing in
Lady.
here in Jackson, but I'm preparing for another bigger thing
Yeah.
in Memphis. It's happening on March 22nd, and that's our struggle. So my husband and I typically, first of all, thank you all for being here.
You're
Like
welcome.
I follow y'all. I need to
Oh,
find out where y'all are and where you're gonna be so I can get there. So yeah, we do the cooking ourselves because the people who come, we use it as a part of the experience. But this event is supposed to be bigger. Like we've done up to like 50 people, but this space that I've been donated, praise the Lord, will hold like 200 people.
wow.
And so I'm gonna be forced to partner with somebody.
Ooh, look at
Um,
that. Partner with somebody.
yeah, I'm gonna have to get somebody, at
Say
least
their
somebody who can
names. Say their names.
smoke some
Fatsos.
meat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that I didn't get the answer. Do y'all travel?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we travel.
Not with the
Well, tell
truck
me, remind me
though.
where you guys are.
We're in
We're in
Oregon.
Oregon right now. I
I
know, I know.
Yeah.
We don't travel with the truck. I mean, we travel with the truck, in the on the West Coast, but
Yeah, that's a ways.
we wouldn't be able to drive it there. But no, we're trying to get ourselves everywhere.
That's
You
what's
know,
up.
That would be
that'd be a
such a
lot of
great,
fun.
yeah, it would be a lot of fun and a great opportunity for 200 people and sharing your goods and
Mhm.
I got somewhere you can cook.
oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
see, we get that a lot. Yeah, we got somewhere to cook. That's always good.
Gotta go get something to cook, go get grocery
Dr.
shopping.
Berry is coming, Tony
Oh,
Hampton,
Ken Berry's
Dr.
coming.
Ken
Ken
Berry,
Berry.
and Tony
Oh,
Hampton are coming in person.
and Dr. Tony.
When is
Yes.
this?
It's
I know
Okay.
Mar
I'm gonna get my calendar
Okay.
out. Hold on. When is it?
Okay.
Let's don't
March
do it. We can get
22nd.
off. I'll catch up with you
No, I think you
guys.
said March
Okay. No,
22nd.
no. March
March
22nd.
22nd is the day.
Hmm.
Oh, right.
Saturday, March the 22nd.
Look at you. Well, you go. The more the merrier, speaking the word and trying to convince others to, you know, we got to keep ourselves healthy, right? And
Got
then
to.
spread the word to keep other people or try and get them to get healthy.
Yes.
Yes. Well, thank you.
Yeah, we can talk. I really meant it as a joke, but hey, if we can make it happen, I'm down
Oh.
for it.
I'm talking to people that
All right.
actually
I think
was
Roz had a
some
question.
more real.
And I don't know whether your
You
your
know, I'm
mic
working my
dropped off,
food
Roz,
draft
or
from
not.
you are
But
beautiful. You get
uh-oh.
something.
I think
Nice to meet you.
now we're okay. Let me
I
try
know you
to.
adopted her when she was
Okay.
just a
Did
little
someone else
6 year
have
old.
a question?
She kind of spurred me on.
I
I was
can think I can mute that. There we go. Someone else have a question? Or a barrier? What are we facing? What's our issues? Are you having any issues, Denitra, in your, just like from the grocery store to the even
Yes,
your
it's
kitchen?
I do have for me, I'm like most is that if I don't prepare, then the struggle is real. But my biggest struggle is when I'm traveling. So like next week I travel to Austin. I'm already nervous, right? Because most of the time it's like a sit and get kind of thing. I'm sitting in a session and when it's for the company, they tend to think healthy means vegetarian.
Oh, yes.
Right. It
Yes.
or they, it's vegan. So they when you think of that, they're like, "Oh, we have plenty of options." And I'm like, "Okay, but where's the meat?"
I
Mm-hmm.
So that's a struggle for me because when I'm at these conferences and I'm set up as a vendor, I start off really good in the morning, right? Because I have my bacon, I keep my bacon in my purse and I do good. But then later in the day, one peppermint starts to look good. Then
know.
a Snicker bar with that peppermint looks good. And before I know it, I've eaten 10 little mini Snicker bars. My legs are in pain. And I'm gonna start over again the next day. So for me, that's my biggest struggle. If I'm home, like I got it, I'm rolling. But I travel a lot. for work. And the one thing I do is I do take my bacon, but I think I eat it faster than I would if I was at home. So
Mm-hmm.
by the next, that's kind of like when your mom made your lunch at school, you like eat the lunch at breakfast and then by lunchtime you don't have a lunch.
Right.
So that's a struggle for me. That is a barrier for me is when I'm traveling, trying to figure out. And even sometimes if I have stuff, like if I have a steak, the other stuff just looks good. I don't think that I have matured or grown past not succumbing to thinking like I'm on vacation. Oh, I can start when I go back.
Yeah. The majority of your travel, is that by car or by plane?
It's a little bit of both. So like I live in Jackson outside of Memphis, so I have to travel to the airport or travel to Nashville to take a plane out. Then when I get where I'm going, I have to rent a car to get where I'm going. So it's a little bit of both. And I'm not always able to get a hotel that has a kitchen either.
Right, right.
You,
Or a
you
little
know,
refrigerator or anything.
something that you brought up, John, is that dehydrator. I've never thought about dehydrating, but that just seems like that would be the travel pack,
It
the
is.
nature.
It is. It definitely is. I
So I
mean,
would love to
those are
learn
like
how to
quick
do that.
snacks.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
would.
Do you have a dehydrator that you recommend? Is there a brand that you use? Y'all, my glasses are broke. That's why I'm holding them.
I
You could use your oven.
You can use your oven to hydrate.
Yeah, you could use
Mm.
your oven on a low temperature just for several hours, and that will dehydrate the meats that you have also. So you don't have to actually have a actual dehydrator. Your oven can do that as well at low temperatures for a longer period of time.
But I have a
And what
really
meats do you dehydrate?
uh so you can I prefer not to buy it from the store, like deli meat. So if you can buy like a chub of turkey, roast beef, ham, or whatever, and
Mhm.
thinly slice it, so you can take pretty much any meat and thinly slice it and dehydrate it and have it as
Mm.
you basically they're turned into little chips basically, but protein chips. And so
I
Oh,
like
like.
Yes.
so
okay.
like chicken skin. I know everybody loves
I
chicken.
was just about to ask you that. Like, if I could, like,
Let me
Tyson is right around the corner. I just wonder sometimes.
So I'm gonna explain something. So
Okay.
I used to make what the Frito chili pie. You remember we grew up on the Frito. So
Hmm.
when I first started my truck, I used to make Frito chili pies, but I didn't use Fritos. I'm able to purchase not too many vendor meat markets sell it, but I buy like a 40-pound case of nothing but straight chicken skins.
Look at her.
Let me tell you what I do with them.
Look
So
at her.
it's a 40-pound box of
Me
just
too.
straight chicken skin. So I thaw them out and then we kind of cut them down because they're really big chicken skins. And so we kind of slice them and then we put them in the food saver and I freeze them. And what I do is I take them out as I need them. And I only deep fry in lard or beef tallow. So I'll just take the chicken skins and drop them in the beef tallow and they crisp up into
Chips.
like chips. But then I make my own barbecue sauce. So when they're done, they're really crispy. You can dip them in your barbecue sauce or your homemade ranch
Or shake them
or
up in
shake them up,
seasoning.
or you
I'm moving to Oregon.
I'm just so you've got your snacks. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
quite sure if you call around to your meat markets that are near
She's
you
got Tyson.
or Tyson and
She's
just
got all
tell
And
them
I've
those.
you
never checked. I've always been afraid. We have a Latham's meat place, and I bought their chicken skins, but I could still see the hair. I was like, I can't do this.
no. So
It's
yeah, I
too
buy
much.
them by a 40-pound case. So I do a lot of them.
Yeah. Those are great
Ooh,
snacks too.
you have no idea. Like this is such I got to tell my husband this. This is such an answer because I told him I said if I could
Hmm.
ever get because I make a Rotel, that's what we call it, with cream cheese and still the Rotel sauce and ground
Yeah.
beef,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
instead of like the Velveeta, which
Like
is garbage.
nachos with the
Right.
But
chicken
that's what
skin.
I'm saying. Like I usually use like crackling, but I would love to be using chicken skins.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. Just
Mm.
fry them up like nachos and
And
Oh my
away.
goodness.
yeah, we did nachos before. You know the little small mini bell peppers?
Yep.
They're the real small ones. So you can clean those out because they come in a bag of like multiple colors of red, green, and orange. But you can cut those, uh, brown you some ground beef, which make your own homemade taco seasoning or whatever. Lay the mini peppers down in a pan and sprinkle
Meat,
your meat on top and your
cheese,
cheese and
whatever
whatever
else.
else. And those are our nachos. So you pick up the mini nacho. Yeah. So you've got a snack for everything. There's little things you can do to take
Sounds
care of
good.
that little hunger that you get.
Wow.
I would also
Okay.
probably get Denitra. I'd probably get, I mean, depending on how much you're carrying on, if you're doing on the plane, you can get one of those little cooler lunch bag kind of things
Mhm.
and pack up some like maybe lunch meat with some cheese. So that would be a great snack. I think the biggest thing is that we tend to go places and then get snacky. But if we have our protein ahead of time, then later on we are going to feel better about not snacking on the other stuff over there. So we'll fill up with our protein, we're satiated, and then we're not getting those urges to do all the sweets that they're coming around with. Because every time you go traveling, right? That's what they want to load you up with, pastries and sweets and
Mhm.
all that stuff over there.
So I'm
So
telling
true.
y'all now, I'm leaving on the 19th and through the 21st. Y'all check on me. I need a I need a AA meeting or something. Y'all check on me, send a
Girl, you
message.
better call
It's,
me. You better text
Girl, I'm
me.
talking because I've been doing good. I'm down. My little waist beads I got at the beginning of the year have dropped.
oh,
Like I'm in a
good.
good
Good for
spot.
you.
And I wasn't going to travel at all in February or March. And my manager reached out. She's like, "Hey, I really need you to cover this conference." I'm like, "No."
It's like food. Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's like the first thing that came to my mind
I
as a
know.
reason to say no. Like, isn't that
Yeah.
isn't that crazy? But that's
Yeah.
just
That's just
how
true.
bad off it gets for me if I start messing up. So I don't want to
That's
take up the
true.
call. So thanks,
No,
y'all.
you're
I
good.
No,
appreciate it.
that's
Oh,
what
you're
we're here
welcome.
for,
Thank
questions,
you.
and we can always send you a quick recipe to make you like a quick
I thought you was about to say you could send me some chicken skin.
no, I was gonna say quick dessert, a little
Oh yeah.
cookie, something to take
But
care of that little sweet tooth.
and I think it's
Okay.
also important to message them, Denitra. They are the easiest people in the world to get in touch with, and they respond, usually within the hour. But just
Nice.
make sure you use this because that's why we're here.
Yes,
And they're
or
real people that, like, we're literally calling this grandmama's porch for a reason because we've got somebody that's not just cooking it, they're willing to help us with it. So reach out because
We gotta get the truck franchise. My husband and I want to do a cafe. I would love to
oh
do a
yeah.
small cafe. We've talked about a food truck because he make the bomb wings, and so we think everything ought to
mm,
come with wings.
mm,
Oh yeah,
And
I do wings too. I do dry rubs. Like today on my menu, we had
Dill and salt and vinegar.
dill and salt and vinegar wings.
mm,
Oh,
mm.
if
Like,
people
Let's
only knew, y'all, if they only
bet you could
knew.
bet you
the
could eat your
deliciousness
way.
of
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
So let's do this because we only have about 30 more minutes. Let's
Oh,
just move to the menu because I think that's why we're here anyway. Because once we get the menu or decide on what we're going to eat, then we'll know what we're going to cook next week on our call.
yeah.
So if you don't mind, John and Christy, let's go over the options. And then what I'll do is I'll post them in the chat so that we can look. Actually, I'll just make a poll and see if we can vote on it. How about that?
I kind of remember she had it
So,
too.
yeah, so the sausage gravy, explain that one.
the sausage and gravy is very simple. We take pork sausage. We want to season it up ourselves because we don't want to buy pre-seasoned sausage that may have some weird maltodextrin or something in there. Chicken broth or beef broth and some cream cheese. And it's so basic and so easy, but so delicious. And we figured for a quick meal, we would do it over scrambled eggs. So you got more protein going on over like that, but you could always use it with a biscuit or something like that. That's just a little bit more higher in carbs. So keeping it lower in the carbs, we'll do the scrambled eggs and have the higher protein. You could also use that sausage gravy. We were thinking about doing like sandwich wraps. So making a wrap, which you can do plenty of ahead of time, and then fill them up with maybe like a turkey sandwich option, wrap it up, or any of your favorite stuff to wrap up chicken salad, egg salad, anything like that. Sausage gravy,
Gravy,
make yourself a little breakfast
breakfast
burrito.
burrito.
Yeah,
Yeah,
over there. And then what else were you thinking of? You got
And
your
then we
got
we
the
had the
Alfredo sauce.
yes. We had
Uh,
the cheese sauce with I think it was the mac and cheese sauce
Oh
with
yeah.
the cauliflower.
yeah. So instead of macaroni, of course, we take cauliflower, chop up the cauliflower, you keep the florets, and we basically roast the cauliflower. The
Hmm.
floret. It's basically salt and pepper,
Butter.
melt butter, kind of shake it up so the butter coats the cauliflower, and just roast the cauliflower. But while you're roasting the cauliflower, you make the cheese sauce, which is very, very simple. And then just pour that cheese sauce over the roasted cauliflower, and that's your mac and cheese. We've got a lot of people hooked on that now
Oh,
instead of the macaroni. I mean, because the pasta has no flavor.
You know what I tell people about pasta? I say it is the same as sheetrock. It's water and flour. It's a building agent. You're literally
hmm,
eating a building agent. You could have built a room with that instead of building it on your body. They'd be like, oh,
interesting.
oh my God. I'm like,
It's
right.
glue. It's just
Glue.
glue.
I like that one too.
Yeah, that's what I call it. It's the
Tell me
Elmer's
about the
glue.
chaffles. How do you all store your because chaffles is something that I always have at events and crazy me, I have like 10 chaffle irons. And so, but because I've never figured out like what's the best way to try to pre-cook them. I've done it at home, but I wouldn't know how to do it for an event. Is there some magic to chaffles? Because I think at one time you all used chaffles on sandwiches.
I use them all the time.
All over
That's
sandwiches.
all the time.
Okay,
Every
so what is
sandwich.
that?
What is a chaffle? Yeah.
Chaffle is basically it's a play on the word. Chaffle is basically a waffle, but we
Chaffle.
call it a chaffle because it's made out of egg and cheese.
Hmm.
And then there's also a poffle. So you've got people who can't eat cheese or
Dairy free.
dairy, they're dairy free. So a poffle, instead of egg and cheese, we use ground pork rinds and eggs to make them a poffle.
Hmm.
We cook
So
it on a
we
waffle
cook it
iron.
also on a waffle iron.
And are you using a big one, John? Are
I
you
have a I have an
yeah.
industrial waffle iron, so I go through a lot of chaffles daily. I mean, it depends on what kind of event I'm doing. If I'm doing a really, really like a large event, I'm doing like 300 chaffles.
And
Hmm.
do you ever cook them up or do you always cook them on the spot?
I cook them as I usually like if I know we're gonna have a really big event, I'll start like we show up at the event early and I'll start making a lot of them. So I have maybe 30 or 40 of them done. But there's times where we cook the chapples. I have customers who want to make sandwiches but don't really want to deal with making a chapel. So I'll make the chapples, put them in a bread bag and sell them to them and then they can just throw them in the freezer.
Where do you buy the bread bags from?
Oh, you can buy bread bags anywhere.
Okay.
Walmart
Walmart, Fred
has,
Meyer's,
yeah,
Safeway, or whatever. Everybody sells bread bags with
Walmart has
Okay.
a little thing
the
that they
ties
call
and everything.
Okay. I did a class 2 Saturdays ago and taught some ladies how to make them and we did the sweet and we did the savory. It changed their world forever. They now have that as a I don't have an excuse now. I can either do one that I can use for bread.
Right.
We did the cheddars, the Kobe Jacks, and then when we did the regular waffle kind, we did cream cheese and eggs, and then they were able to choose their own seasoning for them. So, but I've just never known how to try to preserve them where they could be used later. But I'm glad you said that about the bread bags. I need to check on that.
Yeah, or we buy some really
Ziploc.
nice ones. You can buy them on Amazon. There's like 300 in a pack for like 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Okay, so I want to.
Okay.
Walmart has some really good ones too. They're real, just like an actual bread bag, and then you could just throw your loaf in there and then stick it in the freezer. And they're very easy to thaw. Just leave them out to thaw or just stick them in the mic for, 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to hear a little bit more about that chaffle. What's in it? Because I'm thinking like chicken and waffles.
Oh,
So
I make some mean chicken and waffles.
Oh, I knew
okay,
you was
so
gonna say that. I knew you
That's
was
a
gonna go
different
there.
type of that's a different type of waffle. This is like the chaffle is more for my
It's
sandwiches.
savory
It's savory. But then I make a large sweet
waffle.
waffle for my chicken and waffles. And it's basically cream cheese based. So it's cream cheese, eggs, uh
You have,
cinnamon,
you put a little bit of almond flour in it.
yeah, vanilla extract, a little bit of almond flour, um, And sometimes you can play around with the extract. Just run that through a blender and just pour that into your waffle maker. And
And
then,
Sean, I can send you the recipes that I gave the ladies. I have a one that I made. I can share that if you want to share that with the ladies here. Because I for me, I don't use the almond flour. I have an aversion to using nut flours. So
Mhm.
I try to figure I do use a little baking powder um in it. But yeah, I've not used I don't do the ones with almond flour. I mean the almond flour works or and I haven't tried poffles either, so I'm glad you mentioned that. So I need to do that as well. Try that.
yeah, I
So
just use
maybe it's
almond flours to kind of fluff it up for the chicken and waffles.
Okay.
Mm.
so
Yeah.
maybe that's a meal that we can make something because that's I think that's pretty simple, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
it is simple. It's very simple. And then I make
Okay,
my,
so
and then
what's
I
the
can give
name
you the
of it
recipe.
so I can
Chicken
put
and
it on our
waffle.
list? Oh,
Basically,
the
chicken
chicken
and
and waffle.
waffle. And then I make a sugar-free maple syrup too,
With a little kick to
with
it.
a little kick to it, little spice
A
to it.
little fire, little fire. Okay.
Just a little
Ah,
fire. You can always add a little more spice, but you can't say I'm so non-spicy. You just add a little more spice for the spicy
I
people.
like the spice.
I'm like,
let me see if I
I'm
can
about to
get
check
this.
my flights. I'm coming to Oregon, man. I got
All I can hear is field trip. Yeah, let's go
Yes, I
Right?
like
field
that
trip.
sound right there, Sean.
Yes,
Sign me
a
up.
field trip. But they are also coming to Texas. They're not coming to Texas to cook. At least they don't think they are, but um but they're coming to Texas in July. So I know you'll get on a plane in a minute, Denitra.
Send me the dates.
Yes,
there you
yes.
go.
They have a family reunion
So
coming up. So
you see that? That's one of my chicken and waffles there.
That's like a
that's really
Belgian
cute.
waffle that you're making.
Yeah, it's really big, but that's my chicken
Oh,
and
I'm
waffle.
still making the little mini kind.
Now, these are big, big ones with the fried chicken, and then I actually cook bacon, drop bacon on top, and then the homemade maple syrup.
Denitra, what you got to do is go online and look for a commercial waffle maker. And
Mm,
then you could do more at a time because I know that the mini ones are great, but they take a little bit longer. So if you're doing yes. So the commercial ones, we cook waffles in 3 minutes. So we can cook 4 waffles in 3 minutes with the commercial waffle iron. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
mm,
And
Wow.
so
yeah.
that's how we get people, sandwiches in and out because, they're coming to us and they want their lunch. We don't have time to wait, 7, 8 minutes for a
Right.
waffle to get done. So the commercial
Mm.
ones, especially if you're doing a lot of the cooking
Yeah, and
and making
Okay.
them.
I have
Yeah.
two of the commercial ones, so I can basically just
And
run
we have the round ones, but they also sell them in the
square
squares,
ones.
the square one also.
And if I'm gonna message you all, do I do it at the
That,
That's those.
Fatso
Yep, yep, on
Chiquitos?
Instagram or Facebook, either or.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna send a message so I can check in.
Okay, I
what are we
think I
gonna
have.
eat?
Yes. Oh, y'all see it. I
Yeah,
don't
we see.
Yeah.
know. Is this okay? I guess what you do you okay, I don't know what you see, but if you see
We
the
see
fold and
sausage and gravy,
yeah.
the wraps, which are pretty, easy and ahead of time good thing to make, and you could just fill it with whatever. The cauliflower and cheese is like our mac and cheese. The Alfredo sauce, where you could put either it over chicken, or you could put it
Mhm.
over broccoli, or you could put it over on top of a mushroom. The stuffed mushroom is what we were talking about, kind of the mushroom pizza action. So it's kind of the same thing with that stuffed mushroom pizza. And then we added the chicken and waffles. We're just gonna have a whole lunch, dinner, breakfast thing going
Yeah.
on. There
So
you
if
go.
you all will go ahead and make a vote. I don't know how this is going to work out. And if it doesn't work out, we can just do another one. I see chicken and waffles. I see two people have voted for that and then one for the cauliflower and cheese sauce. I'm gonna stay neutral. I'm
And I,
gonna stay
I know
neutral.
everybody loves pizza, and there's a really quick, besides the mushroom, there's another pizza crust you can do that's so easy. Get some
Okay.
ground chicken, some Italian seasoning, garlic, buy the ground chicken, add your Italian seasoning. Everybody get your cast iron skillet, smash the chicken down into the cast iron skillet, into a round skillet, and bake it in the oven. Pull out you'll have a pizza crust, but it's made out of chicken.
Okay.
ground chicken, and then put your marinara and everything else on top, and your pepperoni, salami, cheese, and pop it back in the oven and bake it.
Melt
Bring
it
it
away.
back out, and you've got a pizza. But the crust is made out of ground chicken, all protein.
Okay. Looks like we need one more person to vote. And here's another proposal. I don't know, this is putting you all on the spot, John and Kristi, but we've got that last meeting. So if you all are open to cooking the last two meetings, I don't know if that would be something that you'd be interested in, John and Kristi, and if you have the time to do it. But if you all are interested in doing that for the last 2 weeks, so next week cooking and then the last week of February we would cook. If you're open to it, let me know.
The cooking.
I love cooking.
I know you do. So, so it sounds like we are gonna do the chicken and waffles.
There you go.
The chicken and waffles for next week.
Yeah.
And
Chicken and
then we'll
chaffles.
chicken
and
and oh, look
waffles.
at me. See, it's my brain. My
Oh, no,
brain is talking.
this one is a chicken and waffle.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because
The
it's the
ch-
chaffle is with the cheese.
Well, this one has
Okay.
Well, it does
cheese in
have
it,
cream
too.
cheese, so
It's just
yeah,
a
it
little
can't be.
different.
It's just a bigger waffle. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just for the purpose of the last meeting, since we're going to use that time to cook as well, are you all okay with what do you want to do? You want to do the mushroom pizza? We can just talk on the mic. Don't worry about voting. Let me know what your thoughts are for that last
What was
meeting.
the second most
The
requested?
second is the cauliflower cheese sauce. So we can just
Here we
do that.
go.
Okay,
There you
we'll
go.
do that.
See, you can use
And
that. You can use that cheese sauce for anything.
Okay,
That's the
okay.
thing about it. That cheese sauce is pretty much used for a lot of different things. I use the cheese sauce for the chicken. I mean, for the roasted cauliflower. I've used the cheese sauce when I make Philly steak and cheese. Uh, put it on fish. You can put the cheese sauce just about on anything.
Okay.
And do you all
okay,
have a cookbook yet?
No, I've been saying I'm gonna work on one. I got pictures of everything I cook. Well, I'm quite sure if you follow us on our page, I
Yeah.
post pictures of everything I cook
Denitra,
all the time.
you have to be a little more specific about your measurements when you do a cookbook. And sometimes when you're dealing with cooks, Roz, when you're dealing with cooks over there, they kind of add a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah,
And
people are always asking me what you put in it. A little bit of this, a
how
little bit of
much
that.
did you put in there? Like my mama said, just a little bit for color. I'm like, no,
Mm.
I need direction. I need direction.
so that
So,
that being said, so this we should be able to cook the chicken and waffles within our 1 hour time frame, right?
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
Because I
definitely,
yes,
want to be able to cook and eat.
yes,
definitely.
yes.
And the
say chicken
chicken,
eat.
the chicken, it's pretty much basic, and we don't use flour or anything. I have like my own seasoning blend for the chicken, and then the chicken's actually coated in pork rinds instead
So
of flour.
what we're
Instead of
what we're
flours,
gonna need is just making sure we get the our
Agreed.
list, our
proper
shopping
ingredients.
list. Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll
So
need that.
today, he'll put his thing together. I know Denitra, you said that you have a waffle that you don't want to use the nut flour with too. That's really good. So you could substitute that out. People who have different allergies and allergens sub stuff out. So
That's so true.
very
I'm
awesome.
going with the crew. Whatever we making, I'm making. So
All
just
right. So we'll get
just
together. He'll get together his shopping list, and then we'll have Sean send it out to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
now
I
now
oh
I'm
go ahead.
curious. You said the chicken is coated in pork rinds, and I'm assuming ground up pork rinds, and you
Yes.
roll it and bake it.
No.
You can bake it, but I deep fry. I deep fry my chicken in beef tallow.
Ah.
man, do you have a supplier?
For
Or
the
do you
which
buy South Chicago
for which one?
for the tallow, beef tallow?
We have a
I have a
supplier,
supplier that I buy. I buy a 50-pound box of beef tallow. I buy it
Okay.
50 pounds at a time.
and then we use Pork King for the pork rinds.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I buy 10-pound bags of pork rind, already ground up pork rinds at a time.
But it's easy enough to just buy a bag of just
Just go to
straight
the
pork
store.
rinds, no seasonings. That make sure that we're looking on the package that is just the pork skin and the salt. and then it's fried in its own grease and its own oil.
Yeah.
And then we take them and you can either put them in a blender and blitz them up, or you could take something and beat them up just to make them like fine, almost like a panko.
Yeah, to get it really ground, I just throw them in a blender, just blend them up, and so you have a just the almost powdered form.
It's really good. It makes it really crunchy too. I think
Yeah.
some of the things that people miss out on, especially if they're gluten-free as well, is like what do they bread their food in? And pork rinds is a great alternative for it. So,
And so you basically just take your chicken, it depends if you like the dark meat or the white meat. So you can take your chicken and marinate it in buttermilk, egg, and seasoning overnight. Then next day, just roll it in the pork rinds right before you're ready to cook it.
Okay, so not that we're supporting any one brand over another, but do you have if I go to Kroger and get pork rinds, which brand?
You just have to make sure. I mean, it really.
I tend to think that, and then Kroger is like a Fred Meyer, right? It's like a Fred Meyer or a Safeway or something like that. The store brands, it's very surprising to me, but the store brand stuff is generally the cleanest stuff.
Yeah, the signature, like the signature brands.
Signature brand.
Those are the ones that don't have a lot of extra ingredients.
And then it's just the non-flavored, so there's no other seasonings on there. It's just the pork, maybe salt on mine. Do I have one?
Yeah.
If you go to Sam's too, they have the big clear bucket that you can get pork skins out of Sam's. They sell a bucket in there, and they are the plain kind with no. I mean, the flavor ones are gonna have maltodextrin in them, but any plain brand is usually pretty good.
Yeah, this is the brand.
Mission, okay.
And then the only thing on Mission under the ingredients is pork rinds and salt.
That's it.
Yeah.
All that's in there. Yeah.
Max does a good one too.
Can I see it again?
Ooh, let me take
the same people that make Mission tortilla chips.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Oh, speaking of traveling, these are fantastic snacks too. Pork rinds, you could dip them in like guacamole, a clean guacamole, or some pico, or shake them up with. I use it like popcorn. I melt my butter and I dip it because popcorn is one of those biggest things. So I melt butter and I just dip my pork rind in it, and it's just like my popcorn.
Oh, girl, you starting some trouble over here.
Yes,
because I was a big popcorn eater.
Oh my gosh, yes, I was a big popcorn.
See, that's her snack. I'm a spicy guy, and I like the real chicharrones, the real pork rinds, the ones that break your teeth.
We call it crackling around here.
Yeah,
right.
This is my go-to snack. Mine is spicy and they're hard. They're the real ones.
I love it. Have you all ever made
can I see those again? Can I see those again?
Yeah.
And see, the good thing about these is because they're spicy, so you can do the same thing with these as you can the other ones. I'd run these through a blender if you want to, if you want something different. Like you can take these, grind them up, and then coat your like your fish or your chicken with these spicy ones and bake these or cook them.
That's interesting. Okay.
It gives it a nice crunch and a nice little bit of a flavor, a little bit of a bite with those. Pork King makes one that's Cajun, and so those are really nice too.
Yeah. And the difference about using the pork rinds to coat your chicken versus using flour is we've noticed when it's time to reheat, you know how when you reheat chicken, it becomes soggy. And with the pork rinds, when you reheat it, it's still crispy.
It's good to know. That's good to know.
Talk food all day,
I could talk food all day.
Yeah, and that's what I knew. I didn't do it. It's just like, you're not gonna eat the same thing I'm eating. I promise you.
So I do have one more question. I know we're getting close to time.
No, you're good. Yeah.
Okay. So I know you talked about making a tea cake.
Ooh.
And you know my biggest fear, well, one of the things that I think about is once I introduce those things back into my diet, it's gonna make me want more and more. Like when I started this, before I started the sugar mode off, I was a sweet tea girl. So I'm talking McDonald's on my way to work every day for that extra large sweet tea. every day, and really probably twice. I made sun tea, and I'm the only one in my house that drinks tea. I haven't had a sweet tea now in probably what, almost 4 years.
Oh,
So I always tell Sean, I'm like, okay, if you see me with a sweet tea, it's bad.
You need
So
to put her
I
in
just,
rehab.
yeah, it's like I don't want to be. And not that I'm not doing bad stuff anyway, but that sweet tea I think is one that I can't return from. But
Hmm.
with the cookies and the tea cakes, I know you talked about that. Man, I sure would be interested in having that recipe. But again,
right.
making sure that it's only there as a treat and not a go-to.
Hmm.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That my weakness before we started this was Reese's peanut butter cups. I could eat Reese's peanut butter cup all day long. So
Hmm.
when she started making the homemade peanut butter and then the chocolate, and so we basically make our own Reese's peanut butter cups now, and
Oh
those sell like
gosh.
tea cakes on the truck. I mean, those are people are requesting those all the time. So there's like I said, so you can have that snack and make them yourselves, but you have to be careful when you're eating them because it's not made with sugar. It's made with the monk fruit and the stevia glycerite
Yeah.
and
I think
Mm.
that we have to know ourselves. And like you said, you already know what your trigger is. And
Hmm.
some people can go and have a little bit and not go overboard and have it. And some people just can't, that's their limit. And that's okay. I mean, we know what we can and we cannot do. And it's just finding out about ourselves. If there is an urge for a smaller piece, and that's the reason why we do small pieces, so when they come and get it, it's not like a whole pan of anything where they can say, okay, I'm now that I started, I can get going. So half of a recipe or a quarter of a recipe, and then just bake a few off, or, freeze the rest of them, like, shape them and freeze them. And then if you have the urge for it, bake a couple off, and
yeah.
then that's your limit for the day. But as long as you know yourself and you know what your limits are, and it sounds like you do, 4 years without a sweet tea. So
Yeah.
you go.
And,
There you go.
and the tea cakes, you can make a ball of the what do you call it, the batter?
The batter.
A ball of the batter. And if you want a few tea cakes, just take a scooper and bake off like three or four or two or three of them
Yeah.
and leave the rest in the refrigerator
Or freeze
or
it.
And
freeze
I'll
it.
add this too, something that I'm learning, and it was a struggle for me before,
Hmm.
Sherry, because I think no one on this call was more of a sugar addict um than me. I was a straight junkie. Like, get off a plane in Memphis, go to the cookie store, get banana pudding with butter cookies, extra cookies, leave there, go buy cupcakes, leave there, go buy custard, and then I'm gone for the weekend. You don't see me until the weekend is over. I was a straight junkie. But what I've learned is two things for me that help me. And again, I'm still nowhere. I have to pay attention to this every day. Is that the pure white processed sugar is intended to make you addicted to it. It is the chemicals in it are, I mean, this is what the chemists do. They are in a factory trying to figure out your bliss point to keep you wanting that McDonald's tea. What I found with going keto, carnivore, low carb is that I make an ice cream. I use allulose to sweeten the ice cream. If this were a regular batch of ice cream, when I was eating like a Turner butter pecan, I was going to eat the whole thing. If it was vanilla and Oreo cookies, I was going to eat the whole thing. This, I can have it, get enjoy it, and I'm done. And it goes back in the freezer. And even if I want some tomorrow, it's a whole nother day. Where I used to would eat that in the same day and go that night, so I would have another paint for tomorrow. So I said all of that to say that the ingredient switch is what I call when I'm working with my clients. I tell them it's an ingredient switch that's making a difference. Does it take away your desire for sugar, which is the ultimate goal, is to not necessarily need or want or crave something sweet? But I think that the quality of the ingredients matter. So when I use allulose, I'm not running after allulose like I did white sugar. So I mentioned earlier, if I get at a conference and I start with one Snicker or I start with one peppermint, I'm gonna have 10 before it's all over. But I don't do that when I'm eating something that is made with allulose. Like I could care less. It's like it was cool in my mouth. I enjoyed it, and now I'm done with it. And it doesn't give me what I call the itis, where I'm gonna be slumped over and sleep either. Like it's gonna give me, you know, energy, which also matters to me. So just something to think about, Sherry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's just, yeah, the when it hits the tongue and you have that urge for sweetness. But like when you start eating that with the protein and getting rid of all those processed sugars and processed kind of food, then your urges kind of decrease as well. So, and allulose in of itself is almost like a natural GLP-1, and so it doesn't spike your sugars as much as like table sugar does. So you're not getting that up and down and want more now, want the 50 bag later, and that kind of thing over there. Just keep on feeding that engine. So you don't have that spike and you're satisfied with a little bit of sweetness over there. So yeah.
And I
Yeah.
me myself, I love challenges. A lot of my customers give me that challenge. So if there's something that you want, but you know it's not really healthy for you, you can always message me. And I like taking on challenges where if
Mhm.
there's something that you miss eating, but you know it's not healthy, I love going in the kitchen and recreating it where it's actually healthy, but it still tastes good.
I think if you all are not following them, let's make sure we do that. They're also on Facebook too, so that's another place. I haven't messaged them on Facebook, but like literally, we don't even text message anymore. We just are sending messages through Instagram. So make sure you follow them. What's your tag again for Instagram?
Yeah. At Fatsos Chiquitos, all one word.
Yes. So let's just make sure we're following them. And then they also post a lot of different foods. And I think that's where it'll open our minds up to saying, oh, okay, we could try this at home.
Yeah,
You
and I
know?
can always, message me. I mean, we can all. I don't mind sending recipes out. That's just something we enjoy doing. We
Mhm.
just made a nice sweet loaf of bread that we were playing around with, and now we've been taking a slice of that every day and eating it. It's a
Mm.
sweet bread. Add some butter onto it. Pop it in the
And it
microwave.
was
It's a
Alabama
buttermilk
pecan.
Alabama pecan bread.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh my
I
goodness, that
It
sounds
sounds
dangerous.
like I'll never get out of that
But
hole.
Right.
it's sugar free and gluten free, and it's
yeah,
so simple to make. It's a loaf of bread, and we'll slice.
just a
We'll
little bit,
right after dinner, we'll slice a piece
just a
and
little bit.
and put some butter on top and pop it in the microwave, and just you'll see a picture of it when you follow us. I posted it on my page, the butter pecan bread. It's delicious.
Okay.
Yeah,
See
I'm
this
What
coming
about
this
along
strawberry, chocolate covered strawberries? I've been thinking about that for
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's.
Oh yeah, simple, easy to make. Chocolate. I'll send you a recipe for the chocolate. We'll put one out over there. But chocolate is really easy to make with just cocoa powder, your allulose sweetener, which would be good. It may not harden though. You might want to use a little bit of a different one because allulose tends to not crystallize or stiffen up. So it does tend to be a little bit. You have to keep it more refrigerated than the other ones. But yeah, just dip it in there. Oh yeah, Valentine's Day.
Get that message going. You
Yeah.
make sure you use
Somebody
it,
else,
y'all.
was it Roz that had a question? Sherry had a question when somebody had a question? One of you?
Oh, oh no, no.
Oh, okay.
But thank you guys.
You're
Oh, you're so welcome.
welcome.
Thank you.
23, you got anything?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you.
You're
Thank
Thank you
you.
guys
welcome.
for everything. Just some
Oh,
great ideas.
of course.
Yes.
We love this having, going on and sharing. And I love the fact that everybody's being more health conscious and taking care of themselves, and everybody else around you is probably looking up to you and saying, well, we can do that too. There you go. You're shining the way.
Yep. That's the way you got to get it started.
That's the way you got to do it.
That's it. So
Yeah,
what we
we
will
don't
do,
mind sharing it all. So just like I said,
yeah,
just anytime.
yeah, this
All right,
we've
I'm
been
creating
so
messages to send here in a second. I want to figure out how to make some chocolate.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
send us a message. I'll get it over to you.
Thank
And it's
you.
just been great. Social media is just one of those things where I was just fretful to get on, and so far it's been amazing. Like this is how I know them, but I feel like I know them. Like if I see them in the grocery store, it's game on, you know. So I am so grateful that you all have spent another night with us, and then for the next 2 Wednesdays, we're going to cook food. I will make sure that I post that information along
Chopping.
with the next video that's coming out, and we will just get it on in our kitchen. So
Perfect.
we appreciate you helping us so much, and make
Thank
sure everybody follow them on social media, but also reach out to them because they're real people. They really want to help. And they're food missionaries. So
you.
let's use them.
Missionary.
Yeah, they're food
So
missionaries. So go.
yeah, I'm gonna message you because I do a live show now on Monday nights called Hey Sister Girl, with two other ladies. And so perhaps we'll get you guys on the show and start plugging the show.
Yeah.
I don't know where the ladies watch from, that come to the show, but right now we're just into our like 12th episode, and we're probably up to about 100 viewers. So definitely I would love to, yeah, get that conversation going too. Because what we try to do on there is normalize this way of eating. Like it's nothing wrong with this and having options. Who knows? We may have some folks in Oregon that can take part. So, and
We
soon, like you said, y'all will be everywhere. You'll be shipping to places. I'm
we
That's
connected
hope
what
to
our
so.
hope is.
the
We
Wonder
hope
Monday
so.
people.
We have people already requesting that we ship some of our food, but
Yes, that's
we
what we're
haven't got to
waiting
that
for.
part.
Yep.
Okay,
All
we're off the
right.
call, and thank you so much.
Take
And
Thank
care.
you.
we'll
Bye, everyone.
get the
Nice to
ingredients, and I'll
see you.
send them out to everybody.
Okay, until
Okay.
next week.
Okay.
Take
Bye.
Thank
care.
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.